Hey everybody, it's Hoopsmiles here for my second hula hoop class that I'm streaming live. I feel like the first class went really well, so here I am. I'm back. This is awesome. Want to welcome everybody here to this class. So if you were here for the last class, the way it worked is basically a bunch of people just asked me questions through the chat feature on YouTube. So I recommend, if you're viewing this from my website, I recommend to just go to the YouTube version of this, and you can just ask me questions in the comments section there in the chat feature on YouTube, and just say, hey, I need help with these hula hooping maneuvers or whatever, and then I can give you live feedback in real time right now in this moment. Looks like we have a few people. So yes, go ahead and ask me your questions, say hello. I was also curious where people are from viewing this. So please let me know, like give a shout out to what your location is. I did have somebody who asked about, oh, would I stream videos or stream a class that would be more beneficial for someone living in the UK? I realize this is a tough time for the UK for a hula hoop class. But I did schedule some more hula hoop classes for February. So if you want to see my hula hoop schedules for February, visit my website, hoopsmiles.com/live hoop class. Yes, yes. All right. Hello, hello. Karen Hoops a lot. Hello from, I don't even know. Oh, Alabama. Woo. Hello from Alabama. All right. I'm glad that you're here, Karen. Okay, so like I said, this last class, I just took people's questions and I answered them, and I was able to do hula hoop instruction that way. So feel free to give me your questions. Yes, yes. And just a quick reminder, or quick flashback. I think last time we mentioned leg hooping, you know, what's some good leg hooping techniques. I think I also did some vertical chest hooping, which is also very nice. But yes, throw it out there. Okay, Danielle Bell, hello. Let's see here. What's the first hula hoop we should invest in as a beginner? That's a great question. So to answer that question, it really depends on what you're doing. So if you're gonna do like on the body stuff, so I'm gonna take advantage of this space we got here. So if you're gonna, let's say, hula hoop around the waist, like so, then I would actually recommend a larger hoop. You know, for the beginners, start out big and then go small. So I've also got some other hoops right here. Because yeah, the bigger the hoop is, the easier it's gonna be. So I would recommend starting big, and then as you get better, you can try a smaller hoop. So to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like with a smaller hoop here, you may already know this, but the smaller hoops, they just spin way faster. So I have to really work to make this smaller hoop go around. So I recommend starting big and then going small. Also, I find hoops that have gaffer tape on them to be helpful for grip. I've also heard of and seen hoops that are kind of scuffed up on the inside that kind of help for grip as well. But like these ones here, I actually made, and they have the gaffer tape on it versus just like a bare tube. I know it's very popular now in the hooping world to get these bare tube hoops, but actually when you first start out, having some grip tape on there can be very beneficial. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Also, when buying a beginner hoop, I recommend trying it out first. I know like there's so many places online you can buy hoops from, but the way I look at it is kind of like a musical instrument. You know, it's like if you're gonna get a guitar or something, you want to go to the store and try it out. I feel like than just buying something online you know nothing about. And I feel that way about hoops too. So if you can, you know, maybe visit some festival or place where, you know, there's a local dealer in town, maybe search wherever you live to see if you can find someone who sells hoops in your area and ask them if you can just try them out. So that's my recommendation there. Yes, Casey Sunshine, Nicholas, hello. Hi, from Texas. All right, we got someone from Texas. We got Alabama. Let's see. Okay, Daniel Bell is asking me, do I sell them? I used to. I don't really sell too many hoops anymore. I maybe sell like some of the used hoops that I already have. I usually now just perform. Yeah, that's generally what I do, is only perform and don't really sell them anymore, but I used to sell them online. Okay. Okay, great. Thanks. Yes, because that was my concern. I wanted to be able to try a few out in person. Yes, I do recommend trying them out in person. Okay, let's take the next question here from Casey. How long did it take you to master chest hooping? I can hoop on my chest, but as soon as I want to move my arms in and out of the hoop, it drops, if that makes sense. I think that does make sense. Let's try some chest hooping. Honestly, chest hooping is probably my favorite thing to do with hooping, just because it's so much fun, and I love to dance in the hoop, and I feel like you can do that. So let's see, chest hooping. First of all, I think it's important to learn some of the basics first with chest hooping. I know some people, they may start out, or I mean, I don't really know exactly how people start out, but some people may want to start out getting the hoop to go up your body in this sort of fashion to get into the chest. But I would actually recommend to start out chest hooping around your neck. So when that hoop is going around your neck, that's when you can actually put one arm up through the hoop, and you want to get used to having the hoop go over your armpit, just like this. And so this will be kind of that basic transition to, if you're trying to get the hoop to come, or if you're trying to move your arms in and out of the hoop, this is one of those ways that you can learn to do that. So practice this first, get good with having one arm out of the hoop, and then you can also try the other arm. So try both arms. So practice this first, and as you get better, you can kind of practice moving both arms. I know this might look really strange because this is not usually how I chest hoop, but I feel like that might be one strategy for a beginner to use to get better at chest hooping and bringing your arms in and out. Because ultimately, I feel like you want to get to the point where that hoop is right along your chest, and you can just move your arms in and out like that. But I would recommend starting out at your neck, and like I said, putting one arm up through the hoop, and really bring your arm. Sometimes it might actually be helpful to bring your arm to the other side of your body to practice getting used to spinning that hoop over your armpit. Also, too, another technique to getting your hands or moving your arms out of the hoop is spin the same direction you spin your hoop. So right now I'm spinning to the right, so I'm going to move to the right as I spin, and it's actually easier. So I recommend spinning in the same direction as well, and also use a larger hoop. So if you use a larger hoop, getting your arms to come in and out is actually going to be easier as well. Sometimes actually just using a larger hoop can solve all the problems with chest hooping. And then as you get better chest hooping, you just keep using smaller hoop sizes down until you feel comfortable in the hoop size you want to use. So hopefully that was helpful. Let's go back here and check out some more responses. Woo! All right. Let's see here. Okay, I see. So I can't seem to keep the hoop going with my arms in it. That's from Casey, who asked about the chest hooping question. I can neck hoop and stick one arm up, but after I get the other one down, it drops. Okay. And shoulder hooping is so hard. I would definitely, like I said, you want to practice that technique that I just showed you with having your arm up first before you even try any kind of shoulder hooping. I would say that's definitely yeah, a better place to go. But if you can, keep one arm up through the hoop and the hoop doesn't quite fall down yet, I would say practice that. And also to I would ask you, do you have access to a larger hoop? Because I'm sure if you had a larger hoop, it'd probably be easier. Let's see here. Carla, yes, I remember Carla from the last class. It's good to, well, I guess I was gonna say it's good to see you, but I can't really see you. But it's good to see that your name is in the chat box. Let's see here. Okay, good. So I recommend trying then that trick, Casey, with the largest hoop you have, and then going from there. Because really, the bigger the hoop you have makes a difference. And last class, I even busted out my super huge hoop. I actually have 2 hoops that can transform into 1 hoop. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to assemble my big hoop, but I don't want it too big. This hoop is seriously very large. It's actually my tandem hoop. I've actually performed tandem hooping before in a hoop like this, which is really fun. Unfortunately, if you ask me any questions about tandem hooping and hooping with another person in the hoop, I will not be able to answer that tonight because I don't have another person right here right now. But yes, so here's that big hoop I was talking about. So even if you have a large hoop and you bring that hoop up here, this can be so much easier. See how slow that hoop spins? To practicing also getting your arm back through the hoop, because even just having a bigger hoop can make it easier to bring it basically gives you a bigger space, a bigger hole to bring your arm back down into the hoop as well. So I don't know if that was very helpful. Hopefully it was, but let's go ahead. Oh, thank you, Carla, for the donation. That's right. Everybody who's watching tonight, you guys are welcome to make a donation to this class if you want to support this class and inspire me and motivate me to keep making time for this class. I welcome you to donate, which you can do so through the super chat feature. I think there's a little $sign down there. So yes, you can donate there if you want. Not required though. This is ultimately a free class, but I welcome your donations and love it. I'm actually trying to, or I would like to raise enough money through this to update my webcam and get like a 4K webcam, which is, I think the one I was looking at is around $200. So if I was able to get to that mark, I could update this webcam and who knows, maybe even stream here in 4K. Which would be pretty awesome. But yeah, so feel free to make a donation or not. It's all good. Anyways, let's see who has some more questions. So shoot me your questions. That was a good question about chess hooping. So Casey wrote, that's a good idea. I'll try with my largest hoop. Yes, Casey, I recommend trying your largest hoop. And then Casey also wrote, how long have you been hooping? Let's see here. I've been hooping now for, I want to say about 9 or 10 years. Yeah, it's been a while. I think about almost 10 years. I think I started, it was Memorial Weekend, which is in May 2009. So we're approaching the 10-year mark, which is pretty crazy. I'm just curious to everybody out there who's watching, how long have y'all been hooping? And where are you at? What are you currently working on? So please let me know in the chat box here. Hello, Hooping Rabbit. It's good to see you there. I remember you from watching last time. I realize what's really cool about these live streams is that I feel like it gives me the opportunity to get to know you better, the people that are viewing my channel. And this is awesome because I'm starting to actually remember people, and I feel like it's a little bit more personal. So yeah, this is fun. Okay, so Hooping Rabbit asks, do you have any tips on the behind the back elbow pass? So the first question, well, first of all, I have to even remember if I can do this. I don't normally do elbow passes. I don't even do them in my shows. Now, are you talking about the elbow pass? I think partly is because I injured my elbow. Actually, coming back from injury here, tennis elbow, actually injured it while shooting one of my videos, YouTube videos. So we'll see if I can do this one. I might actually have to say no because of the injury, but so my question then for you, Hooping Rabbit, is: are you talking about a horizontal elbow pass or a vertical elbow pass? And what I mean by that, so the vertical one, the hoop is in a vertical position. I put that on my elbow right here, and then I'm gonna pass it over. Whoop! Yeah, I can tell I am not not prepared with that left elbow. Ooh, that injury. Okay, so this is the vertical elbow pass, and now I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't even know if I can do this. I'm gonna try this again. If I can't do it, if I need to rest that elbow, I need to rest the elbow to strike. Yeah, there we go. So are you talking about the vertical or horizontal elbow pass? Let's see here. Okay, vertical. Perfect. Says yes, vertical. Vertical. My butt hits the hoop every time. You can see that is definitely a problem. So I guess my question would be, what size hoop are you using? I feel like a semi bigger size hoop for the elbow pass would actually be a little bit better. Let me see if I can teach this trick without actually using my elbow, because honestly, I don't think it would be a good idea if I try to do this with my elbow injury that I currently have. But to do an elbow pass, let's see here. Another question too. Are you trying to do behind the back elbow pass or in front of you? Okay, that's good to know. So Hooping Rabbit says, I have a 34, 30, and 28 inch hoop. I'm guessing that's inches because centimeters would be ridiculously small. So 34, yeah, see, that's gonna, that's still gonna be pretty challenging to do that elbow pass with a 34-inch hoop. Still possible, but if you're gonna do the elbow pass, what I would recommend is to try the backwards version. So behind the back elbow pass. So right now I'm spinning the hoop. Let's see here, spinning the hoop this way, which would be to the left. And so I'm gonna put that on my right elbow. So if you do a behind the back elbow pass, you're gonna then want to pass it to your left elbow and then continue turning and spinning. So I guess if you're gonna wanna do it on your left hand, then you're gonna have to spin the hoop so that it's going to the right. And then you'll just do the opposite sides. Let's see here. I don't know if that was very helpful. I felt like I was totally not able to teach that with my current elbow injury. So I might have to actually come back to that one another time and continue. But I would definitely, Hooping Rabbit, you might want to actually get a larger hoop if you want to practice that, because that larger opening in the hoop can really do all the wonders there. And then as you get better, then come back down to your 34-inch hoop, and then to your 30, 20, 28 might be pretty hard to do an elbow pass. Let's see here. Let's look at someone else's questions. Hey, Jasmina, it's good to see you in the feed there. Hello. That's awesome. You've been hooping for 3 months. All right. Still figuring out waist hooping. Yes, waist hooping is awesome. Good thing to figure out. Behind and I can land front. Okay. Cool. All right. So Carla writes, I'm going to grab my chair here again. All right. Let's get this one going. Carla writes, what transitions do you like? I'll have to think about that. I think some of the transitions, I know I definitely like, in terms of like beginner transitions, I like this sort of helicopter. So this is just not even one-handed, you're using both hands. This helicopter to sort of like a one-leg escalator and then up to hooping on your hand and lasso above you. I like that one because you can actually do it pretty smoothly to the point where it doesn't look like you're just going from trick to trick. So that's a really nice transition. I also like transitions where I can easily go from hand hooping to on my body. So I definitely like that sort of move. You know, if the hoop is above my head and lasso here, bringing it back to my body, or if the hoop is sort of in a vertical position in terms of the transition, just to jump through the hoop and then go into spinning the hoop around my waist. So in terms of those transitions, I love those transitions. The ones that are fluid and basically go like I was saying, the ones like from the hand back to the body, from vertical or horizontal. Trying to think what other transitions do I like? I mean, I definitely like, you know, anything isolated oriented that you can basically just go back into an isolation. So like a isolation to a jump through is a nice nice little transition trick. But anyways, okay, so let's check this out here. Ooh. Okay. So Carla, oh, that's cool. Yes, Hooping Rabbit. What inspired you to do this live class in the first place and doing hoop classes in general? Thank you for asking that. I would say, oh, you know what? I actually haven't been teaching like a hoop class in person for a while. I've really only been doing just shows, and sometimes at the shows, I will teach classes there. So they usually just be like a one-day event sort of class. But in terms of this live class, I think something that I like about it so far is I'm really getting that I'm afraid of doing this because I'm so used to actually teaching people in person and seeing people, and I can't actually see anybody as I do this. And it's much different than just filming like an instructional video. And so, yeah, I just was like, yeah, I want to do live videos. I was also curious of the donation feature because I saw that like, you know, people can donate to you during a live class or the live feature on YouTube. Also, I saw that it looks like a lot of live videos come up in the search results. So I thought, oh, maybe people might be able to find my hooping instruction in classes easier as well. And now I'm just getting how cool this is. I'm learning now that I can get to know my viewers better through these live classes. So I don't know if that really fully answered the question, but yeah, it's kind of partly why I was inspired to do a live class. Let's see here, the vertical jump through. Yes, I recommend learning vertical jump throughs. That is definitely one. Casey writes, I can't get isolations. Is there a trick to that? Isolations. I love isolations. I think one of the reasons, and this may be, you know, one of my more favorite tricks. I have a bunch of favorite tricks, but what I like about isolations is it's one of those tricks that looks really cool when done correctly, but it doesn't require that much energy. So to learn an isolation, I'll just go ahead and teach you guys here. Just so I'm not so far away here, I'm gonna turn the camera up here a little bit. See if I can get this camera. See, is that better? Yeah, I think that'll do. So the trick here is, first of all, you want to make sure you have the right hoop size. Generally, a smaller hoop is going to be easier for isolation. Right now, I'm actually using kind of a medium, larger hoop. But if you want to use an even smaller hoop, that might even be better. So I think it was Casey who had the 28-inch size hoop. I'd recommend using that one for this one here. But the trick to an isolation is, first of all, you want to hold it at the very bottom of the hoop overhand. And you want to imagine that your hoop is bolted into the wall, right into the center, okay? And you're going to spin the hoop around that bolt, but it cannot move away from that bolt, okay? And what you want to avoid is this. This is just sort of like vertical hooping. Now I'm isolating my hand, and the hoop is just spinning around my hand. So you want to actually isolate your hoop by spinning it around that center point of to isolate the hoop. So once again, so find that center point. So to isolate, go ahead and just start by moving your hand to one side. And once you're, you know, for this, it actually doesn't really matter. You can actually go to either side because you can do isolations in both directions. But for the purpose of this right now, I'm going to go to that side there. And as you get to the top, this is when the trick becomes the most vulnerable, where it's easy to drop the hoop or make a mistake, is at the top here. And you can't really move your hand anymore. And that's when you actually let go of the hoop and let the hoop just travel over the back of your hand, and you grab the other side and you keep moving to complete that isolation. So once again, that top part, like I said, can be really easy to lose the hoop there. But as you bring it up here, you can't move anymore. Let your hand go and just roll over the back of your hand to the other side. And this is something you can practice in both hands. Yep, and in both directions as well. Also, too, I would recommend maybe looking in a mirror if you haven't done so already for your isolations, because looking into a mirror can be really helpful to fixing your isolation. So if you see your isolation is going to one side or the other, is just really off kilter, the mirror is really helpful. Also video, like right now I can see myself on the camera, which is actually kind of nice because I can fix my isolations on the camera as well. Also, another trick for people that struggle with isolations, I like to consider this as sort of like a training wheel, is you take your non-hooping hand and just go ahead and place your non-hooping hand sort of at the upper right or left side, depending on what hand you're using. But because I'm using my right hand, so I'm going to put it more on my right side here. And you're not going to fully grip the hoop. You're just going to rest it like this and maybe just slightly put your hands in there, not like I said, gripping it. And you're going to hold it up like this. And so now I want you to do your isolation, but you're going to use your non-hooping hand right here as sort of a guide. Okay, so slowly move that hoop and don't move your non-hooping hand, and just use it as a guide to help keep the hoop in place. So this can be like a nice way to practice your isolation so that your hoop doesn't go all over the place. And like I said, you want to make sure that you keep that so your other hand that you're not doing the isolation with, you don't want to move that hand. For some reason, this hoop is not working that well for me. I'm going to use the bigger hoop. So like I said, I consider this to be like a training wheel. Put your other hand up there, and then you can practice this. This is a good way to get better at your isolations. And once you finally get better, practice then taking that hand away to perform an isolation. So hopefully that was helpful there. Let's see, can you do a transition into a mandala and out of it? And also, how do you weave backwards? I can't figure it out for the life of me. Help. Yes, let's see, Jasmine. You know, I'm not even sure if I know exactly what that is. But we'll look at how do you weave backwards? We'll look at that one. So for the backwards weave, so I'm going to bring this camera back here. Let's see, is this good enough? Okay, I think that'll work. So for the backwards weave, we're or the reverse weave. So first of all, you want to know how to do a not backwards weave, just a regular weave. And I would recommend practicing with one hand first. And I think I went over this in the last class a little bit, but we'll revisit this. So you're going to want to hold that hoop underhand at your side. And to do your weave, you're going to sort of rotate that hoop in front of you, and then you're going to bring it to the other side here. And then once it's on the other side, with your hand, you're just going to kind of rotate it back up and over. And then as it starts to fall off again, you're going to bring it back over on your other side. And so that's how you do a one-handed weave, just with, not backwards. But to do the backwards version of that, so we're doing our one-handed weave, not backwards. So the backwards version looks something like this. So if you still go back to that sort of position where you're holding the hoop underhand at your side. So to do the backwards version, instead of rotating the hoop up this way, sort of behind you, you're going to do the reverse action, and you're going to rotate that hoop up in front of you. And as you make that rotation up, you're going to then bring the hoop to your side and rotate it down. And then when the hoop is in front of you here, you're going to move your hand up again and rotate it back to your side, sort of like that. So this is what it will look like in the sped up version here. So this is the reverse one-handed weave. Also too, when you hold that hoop, because I was doing it so slow, ultimately the type of grip that you have on the hoop when you're doing it fast is a very light grip. You don't have to hold it very tight. So just have a very, very sort of light grip. So if I hold it just kind of at the edge of my fingertips there. And so I'm going to go ahead and try this again. So it's at the edge of my fingertips. And you want to keep that hoop very close to your body. So the closer you can get that hoop to your body, the better. Okay, and so when you first start out, you might have to do the very slow sort of movement that I initially did here. So gripping that hoop at your side a little bit tighter, and practice those little slow movements. Also, when you bring that hoop in front of you, it might feel like your elbow is kind of going out of its socket because you kind of bend your elbow in. So keep your elbow bent sort of in towards your body to get kind of that closer hooping to your body, because when doing this trick, what you want to avoid is having that weave be way too wide, which you can do this, but in the long run, it's not going to be as helpful. So you want to condense that weave and get that hoop very close to your body. So hopefully that was helpful for that reverse weave. And if you want to add 2 hoops, do a reverse weave with 2 hoops. Master the reverse one-handed weave on one side, and then master it on the other side, because you have to have mastered both reverse one-handed weaves on each hand first before you can. I would even recommend attempting. Let me see if I can get a hoop here this a little better. Before you can even try 2 hoops. So once you've mastered both sides, then you can try 2 hoops here. And so this is a reverse weave with 2 hoops. And this is just a chase weave right here. So yeah, so start out one-handed weave, reverse on both sides, and then you can throw in that second hoop and start practicing there. But yeah, Jasmine, I would ask you, where are you at with the process there with just doing your reverse weave with one hand, with 1 hoop instead of 2 hoops? Because definitely when you get to the 2 hoop version, that can be very challenging to do the reverse weave there. But I'd recommend really getting your 1 hoop weaves down smooth and amazing. Woo! I was just looking at the time here. We're actually getting pretty close to the end of time. It's amazing how fast This class is going by here. Let me see if I can answer one more question here before we end this class. Okay, let's see here. Jasmina. Okay, I see you're in Kirkland. Yes, I wanted to put that out there too. If you do happen to be in Seattle, I am doing, so for the month of February, all the classes I am doing in the libraries. There are different libraries here in Seattle. So if you happen to be in Seattle, you're welcome to come and ask me your questions live in person. So Jasmina, if you happen to make it out here, you're welcome to come out to the library that I'm at. I believe the next library I will be instructing at is the Broadview Thompson Library in Seattle. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Casey, I need to get the roll with my hand and look into a mirror. I hadn't thought of that. I just think they look so cool. I like the idea of using my other hand too. I'm assuming you're talking about the isolations, is that correct? Let's see here. I think isolations do look cool, and they do look cool with both hands too. So if I have this isolation, you can do sort of an isolation with two hands as well. And then Karen, I saw your comment here. While you're on the topic of reverse escalators, could you demonstrate the one where you push the hoop into your back instead of your chest? I love it, but can't get it. Ooh, actually, you know what? I don't even know if I can do that. I remember, I think I did a tutorial on the reverse escalator some years ago. Wow, I haven't even, honestly, if I tried that, I don't know if let me, since we're going to have to end this class here soon. Let me look at that trick this next week. And by the next class, I might be able to pull that trick that I did a tutorial for out of my hula hoop trick bag to see if I can bring that one back. But in the meantime, just search the reverse escalator tutorial on my channel and check that out. But yeah, I'll see if I can look at that this week. Let me see anything else here. See, I can't do the reverse weave at all yet, but I'm still going to try. Yes, I recommend trying. Yeah, and like I said, to do that reverse weave, Jasmine, really master just your one-handed weaves first with one hoop on each side, and then try the reverse direction with just only one hoop. That'll really help that. Let's see, Carla. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Carla, for the affirmation there. Jasmine, I'll get it. Cool. See. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast here and shortly, but I'm going to wrap it up by saying if you guys want to see my live hula hoop class schedule, you can go onto my website, hoopsmiles.com/live hoop class. And I actually pulled it up here on my phone just so I can tell you when the next hoop class is. So right now I have a class scheduled for Tuesday, February 5th at 5:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So the next class is Tuesday, February 5th at 5:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. After that, I have a class at 10:40 a.m. on February 12th. So the people that are in the UK may benefit from this class possibly if they want to kind of get a later evening class or anybody who's kind of more in those time zones. So 10:40 a.m. February 12th. February 20th is at 4:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then February 27th is at 12:15 p.m. So so that's my hoop class schedule. You can check out all the info if you go to my website. Thank you everybody so much for being a part of this class, watching this class. This is my second class, and this is awesome. I'm glad I'm doing these live classes. Also, too, you can go on my website, and if you go to the live hoop class part of the website on my website, you can actually tell me what you want to learn. So if you want to shoot me, some comments, or if you register for the class, it doesn't cost any money or anything. You can put in there what you want to learn. So then that way I can see it before the class and be like, oh, look, Carla or Jasmine or Karen or whoever wants to learn how to do this. And then I can, be even more prepared for that to show you that as well. But once again, thank you everybody for watching. I think I'm gonna go ahead and close it out here. All of you are awesome and amazing, and I hope you have the best hula hoop week ever this week. I hope you guys learned so much, and life is amazing. So I'm gonna sign out here. Until next time, see y'all later.